Hello, this is Module 5, Video 30. In this video, we're going to build our action list parser. So in the last video, we built an action parser, which allows us to parse out any action in the input. So now what we can do is compose that into the next level of abstraction, which is the action list parser, which will allow us to parse a list of actions at a certain indentation level. So let me create the classes we'll need first. So this is the API I'm shooting for on the action list parser. We give it the services we need plus the indentation level that we're expecting the input to be at, and it gives us back an enumerable of the actions that it can parse. Now if you're looking at this list of services here and thinking that's a bit naff, then I agree. I'm considering adding a container service interface which would just have a resolve method, and our IOC container would end up implementing that interface. And then we could just pass in the container service into this method instead, and it could resolve the services it needs. I'll probably end up doing that, but I'll probably do it after I finish this module, so as we don't muddy the waters here too much. So for now, we're just going to pass through all the services we need, and they in turn will get passed on to the next parser. So let me write some tests for this just to solidify what we're aiming for here. Okay, so here's my test cases. I'm checking all the constructor arguments as per usual, and as per usual I've got two tests here, one for valid input, one for invalid input. I've only got the one test case for valid input so far, but we'll flush that out shortly. And you can see the kind of thing we're going for here. We've got an asterisk, followed by a space, followed by the action, followed by a new line, followed by some indentation, which actually shouldn't be there because I'm expecting zero indentation with this particular parsing, followed by another action. And then I'm validating that I'm getting back the correct action types from our parser. And invalid input examples are, empty string, no action after the asterisk, no asterisk, and too much white space before the asterisk. In fact, any white space before the asterisk is invalid. in this case because we're at level 0 still. So now let's make sure that builds and fails our test. Just got a little build error here that I need to fix. There's our failures. So now let's look at the logic here. Okay, so there's the implementation. I accidentally had action here instead of iAction, so I fixed that, and you can see that I'm parsing out leading white space per the indentation level. And actually that's not going to work now that I see that, because even at indent level 0, we're still going to try and parse out 2 spaces. So perhaps what we need to do here is just create our own string with indent level times 2, like that. Oops, why is that not compiling? Oh, sorry, I've got the new string here. Like that. Okay, so we're parsing out the white space, the leading white space, and then the asterisk followed by another space, which is very strict, I know, but we can make that less strict later. Then we're parsing out an action, and then I've decided to let any amount of white space exist after the action, as long as it's not a new line. So that means you could have something like this, where you've got wait for 2 seconds, break for 1 minute, and then after this break you've got this white space here. And in fact we could have some here as well. And then I'm selecting the action and delimiting that entire expression by new lines. So that means it will select as many as it can, delimited by new lines, which is where we get our enumerable from. So that theoretically should work. Let's try our tests. Got some failures here. Of course, we forgot to check our arguments. I forgot to check our arguments. Cool, so all passing, so that's our action list parser. You will recall though that there will be a recursive nature to this shortly, because what we're doing here is we're passing through all our services and indentation level to action parser, and that will eventually call into our parallel action parser, which in turn will call into our action list parser. So we'll soon be going full circle by implementing our parallel and sequence actions. But for now, let me flesh out these tests. Okay, cool, there we have it. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.